Any chance in hell to win. No, but you're wasting your vote. And then we're going to say, oh my God, why is crime so high? Because you idiots, you're sitting there, you're doing nothing, and you're allowing this to happen. People have to wake up. Wake up, everyone. Everyone has to wake up. The whole city has to wake up because it's out of control. We're literally in a spiral to hell. So we in this room, I know we're preaching to the choir. Well, choir members. I feel like we're in a church or something. Choir members, preach the word of insanity out there in the streets because this has to be done. We have to be the. What I do on a personal level at work or people I meet in the street, I try not to mention Democrat, Republican, because then people put up their guards. Right. They all go, I'm a Democrat. All you do is say this. You know what? Wow, yeah. Yeah, the price of food. Woof. Yeah, I know. I'm like, wow. Yeah, and you know what? We shouldn't reward these politicians. Now, obviously, when you're saying that, who are we talking about? Because the Democrats control, like, everything, so we're talking about them, right? Because they control the Assembly, State Senate, Governor, every damn position unknown in the city and country, okay? So when you say that, reward the politicians. Why? Don't reward those politicians. Don't vote for them. That means the people in charge are them. So you put it in that level, and you start breaking it down about how your mortgage is going up, how everything is going up, the fuel prices. My home fuel, I was paying $2.89 a gallon. I got it down to $4.19 somehow, because right now it's $5.49 the last time I checked. $5.49 for home heating oil, more than diesel? That's ridiculous. We're in hell right now. And it's important that everyone comes out to vote and drag people to the voting machine. Hey, well, at one day, you have literally, what, half a freaking month to vote? Get out there, drag people to the stupid early voting or the day of, whatever you want. Make sure they vote. Grandma, grandpa, come on down. Next time in the future, because it's too late now, get that absentee ballot if they can't get out to the vote. Okay, get everyone to vote. It's important because we're outnumbered in this city. Okay, this is the Alamo, we're outnumbered. But if, for this governor's race, if we get like close to 40% or something like that, he could win the governor's race, okay? It's very important to get that number in the high 30s and just maybe close to 40%.
Yeah,
we know we're not going to win the city level, but if people come out to vote, on our, all of us come out to vote on our end. Democrat, conservatives, independents, and Republicans come out to vote for Zeldin, then we could get that number. We could get that 40% number, and that will be wonders for a statewide race for especially Michael Henry, who's running for Attorney General, against that Letitia James. It's important for these other races too, so please.
I'm always telling people, vote for common sense. If you think the crime issues, that bail reform is common sense, if you think school lottery is common sense, vote for it. If you think, do you think it's common sense? And no, it's not common sense. So don't vote for it.
And what about those propositions?
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, let me just get really quickly to the crime issue. Yes, there is, police does make errors in every city of the world. Yes, there are bad cops. Yes, I agree. But now, because of that, all of us became victims.
Yes.
This is not right. Million people cannot be victims of one bad police guy or one arrow that they make. This is insane.
Especially there's millions of interactions throughout the year between police and the citizenry. The millions of interactions. So when you have a couple of them, it's not right. Of course, we don't want any type of brutality of someone in an innocent manner being. We want those cops to be governed accordingly. But don't try to make it where it's every police officer, because it's not. Because what's the alternative? Mad Max? You want to be in a Mad Max movie, Escape from New York movie? Hey, not everyone can have Ernest Borgnine as your checkered cab driver. That's my reference, okay? Because we can't escape New York. We're trapped here. We're trapped here because we have family. We're trapped here because we're still working. We still have to wait for our pension time. We're trapped here because whatever the reasons are, we can't escape. We're trapped here. But we can make a difference by opening our mouths and voting and doing what we must. Volunteering on political campaigns too. It's very important.
You know, one of the things that we can do is take pride
on where we live.
Yes.
And make sure like things are clean,
Right.
garbage. When you have pride, then you will want to do better and vote for the right person who will support you. Brooklyn, I don't have, who wants to go into Manhattan?
Right.
So we have to have pride here. We have to clean up our streets.
Yeah.
We have to, even plant more trees, I'm in
Yeah.
Chicago. But we have to take pride in our communities.
Yeah.
If you take pride in your community, like if a real estate company wants to build a house and it's going to interfere with your landscape, no, you can't come here and build and take over. That's why, we're losing our rights by these real estate people and these contractors build all these ugly buildings wherever they want. They don't consider the environment. So you got to take pride. When you have pride, then you won't have so much crime. You don't have to worry about police.
Basically, the broken windows theory.
They wanted to build a homeless shelter right on Evans Avenue.
Right.
Right.
Right by the way. But why we have to build shelters in the residential areas where we know it's going to affect the quality of life of people? Why don't we build them in the commercial areas?
Right.
What's wrong with you people? What's wrong with it? What's wrong with your common sense? Why?
Exactly.
This is an issue that's going on, it's between
Right.
common sense against nonsense.
Right.
And for many people who are complaining and have been worried about what's going on, this is the result when people do not go out and vote.
Right.
That's why vote is important. They have to put leadership who's willing to represent the people. In other words, people who works for us. Because if they say they don't want to vote, I always ask them, look at your taxpayers' money and how much you're going to be paying a lot more if you don't go out and vote. And when they talk about the crime issue, then I say, did you vote? And the person said no. I said, there you have it.
You have no say in the matter then.
Right.
Well, we
But
feel
it's
our
not-
votes were, the whole
You could
election
feel
was
it,
rigged.
but you keep fighting.
You know the problem that people don't discuss? Have you noticed how many rats there are in the city?
Oh, yeah. I go to McDonald's
So-
on Coney Island
right.
Avenue, I go through the drive-through, keep seeing rats
Yeah,
going through.
yeah.
I'm like, maybe I
So-
shouldn't go through here no more.
So a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, he is a superintendent in one of the buildings in Park Slope. And he says, Michael, listen, the amount of rats rose like maybe 2 times lately. So now what they do, I've met with I've met with the company, the exterminator. They said that city does not finance the exterminators anymore as they used to. Instead of that, they're giving fines to the buildings, more and more fines to the buildings for rats. Can you imagine that?
They take away the garbage cans on the corners that used to be there. They take it away, so now there's garbage all over the place. There's no place to pick it up and, collect the trash every night, whatever. They just let it fester all over the place.
The trains are
Disgusting.
horrible.
Oh, the trains are.
Oh, yeah,
Rats are this
terrible.
big.
And the only thing I saw about the rats when I saw 2 rats fighting over a piece of
Pizza.
pizza.
And I don't blame them. Pizza's
Oh, yeah.
Well,
I don't blame the rats.
Well,
I
one of
blame
the-
dance.
well, one of the problems is that if you look at the properties, I know a lot of people that do real estate own properties. So you have certain properties that are what's called being in limbo. So the city is falling down on the job by saying, okay, so you have a few blocks, let's say East 16th Street between Avenue P and Kings Highway. There's a stretch, there's vagrants there. Nobody says move along, you can't have a tent over here, as well as refuse and human debris, things like that. So expand that to, well, Manhattan and some of the outer boroughs. I see it, it's a lot more.
Yeah.
Even back in the bad old 70s, some people here might remember it. I look at the French Connection, the old films from the 70s, I'm able to see it, I remember it vaguely. And it was better back then in certain ways because the key thing is the NYPD was able to do their job properly.
Yes.
So if somebody says we're going back to the 80s and 70s, in certain aspects, I want to go back there. Because the police, the guys I know of, I'm sure you know of, that are retired now, were able to properly do their job.
Right.
So it's
There was much more respect for
yeah,
police.
it's
Much more
exponentially
respect.
worse. We had Reagan in the White House too, by the way.
Yes, I was.
So that's it. It's a bad problem. I think it's
Listen,
worse.
It's interesting.
It's worse
We
now than
asked-
it was 50 years ago.
More of a mental
One of the recent shows we host on my station with Alec Krusny, so we asked our listeners what they hate in New York more than anything, right? We've seen so many answers about the smell of marijuana everywhere.
Yes, God, yes.
That ain't going away.
And I'm not even talking about legalizing or not legalizing. I'm not blaming people who smoke, you know, and stuff like that.
Everywhere I go.
It was like that
But
before they
listen,
legalized it.
listen. Alcohol is legalized, right? Vodka, beer, but nobody is drinking beer, vodka out of the bottle on the street,
Yes, they
right?
do.
I mean, not
But I'm not good
not as much as they smoke, you know, joints on the street. So why do we let people smoke joints? Okay, let them smoke home, let them smoke here, there. By the way, it's a big problem.
Because it's like in
You know, in
comparisons.
apartment buildings, you know, people feel
It does
the
permeate.
smoke in you know apartments around the place that
You can
person
smell it
smells.
from a mile away.
Well, they look at
So
it
they're-
like it's a regular
Right,
cigarette.
right.
That's the way
right,
people look at it.
Exactly. So, you know, we need to do something with that as well. The city stinks. As Alex said, the city stinks Democrats.
Well, you could literally smell it on the, I'd be driving on the Belt Park.
Oh, yeah,
and
from
you'd be
another
going
yard, yeah.
60 miles
Well, the
per
guy in
hour,
front of you
right
smoking.
pre-event,
Yes,
and it's
yes,
horrible.
yes. Again, do you see people drinking vodka behind wheel, like driving and yeah, but not so often. That's
Somebody
joint,
that hit me.
right? Not
Not part of your experience unless you hit me.
The cab driver that hit me
You know, I'm
was.
just saying, like when I'm in my house.
right.
Yeah, but I'm somehow in your house, because
Right,
now I'm part
right.
of your experience. I don't care if you're in your attic, but somehow I'm across the street from you in your attic, and I'm smelling it from my porch many feet away from you. So now I'm part of it. So it's,
But the thing is that we were surprised how many people were mad about it.
yeah.
Are there statistics? We have alcoholic on the road, alcoholics on
Right.
the road, we know DWI. Are there statistics for marijuana on the road impeding people's driving? And that should come into play just as much as alcohol or any barbiturate or any type of amphetamine or any of that. When you legalize, they
Could be pulled over
legalized
for
it.
that.
And, you know, that's gonna increase, I wanna just know if there's, our statistics. For
That's a
this.
good one, yeah, I'll try to find out about it.
This I agree with him because if they're gonna implement like marijuana, there has to be some kind of designation. And also, if people want to smoke marijuana, that's their choice, but it can't be bothering from other people. And the only part I find it ridiculous when they're gonna lock up somebody in prison over a joint.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't have to be like a joint. If it's
No.
someone smoking a joint and starting attacking somebody, then yeah, that's prison sentence.
Right.
Because they want to turn something small into a hardened criminal, but that wasn't an issue. They were trying to turn small-time offenders into hardened felons instead of someone committing an actual act of crime. But for the marijuana, it would have been
Sure.
Just like, why, we're talking about how we're outnumbered by Democrats, by people voting for Democrats. So why are so many people voting for Democrats? Because of all the taxpayer funds that the government gives to all these people.
Right.
I read recently that in Florida, they have a population now that's greater than New York State, and their budget is half the size.
Yes, exactly. Look how they built that bridge that was,
Yeah, but it's a
the causeway.
completely
bridge.
different
How
type.
it was,
They get a lot more
from the
enforcement.
hurricane. They did it in 3 weeks.
It's a different type
New York would be
structure, though. You can't
300
compare it.
I know, but we're basically paying for these people to be here.
Eventually, it's gonna change too,
Right.
if it gets more crowded.
In Florida?
My friend just
Different
sent me
infrastructure.
something from
Yeah,
Texas.
but still.
This is important. My
We pay
friend
for
sent me
people
something
who are doing
from
nothing
you're
to
Texas.
sit around.
Somebody
That's
put
what
on
you're
a
gonna
highway a
I know, my
picture.
parents moved to Florida.
Conway is right about the Jews. This is in Texas. And this reverend is putting this out on a sign. Yeah, you want to?
Yeah, sure.
Who's Conway?
No, she's talking about Kanye.
Oh, Kanye.
Kanye.
Oh,
Now, this, so we have to wake up, you know, like, to let these politicians know here, like, this is in Texas. You know, and they're putting it out on a highway. But Jews, you know?
yeah, well,
So-
we've seen a rise in anti-Semitism in New York and other races too, the Asian community. and just all of us, hey, I'm Italian.
Well,
Hey,
you're
they
what?
broke into my car.
Well, you're
I'm a
what?
victim too. So we're all victims here.
Right.
And the thing is, it's disgusting. We have to stop this crime because, especially when you're targeting people, because of the way they look, or where they are, with their race, it's disgusting. And we need to stop this. But let them right back out on the street with no bail, and that's thanks to your local friendly Democrat.
I have another
They're the ones that made that
There's
happen.
so, just one second. There's so much anti-Semitism in the universities, in the colleges, in universities.
Oh, yeah.
There's racism, the other way of racism. So it's very interesting. One of my employees, she's from Russia, but she's black.
Right.
So she went to Columbia University, learning psychology. Her professor is black, and she answered something to a white guy, something not very fair and good. So the girl who works for me just stand up and say, hey, listen, I don't think it's fair. After that, she had a Zoom meeting with her and several other people explaining to her that she has to be on the black side. And she goes like, hey, listen, I'm the like common sense side. I don't know what black side and white side is, right? So what's going on in the university is extreme.
For example, with that, I was renewing my car insurance the other day on the phone. So I renewed my car insurance. I said, oh God, it went up a little. Of course, everything goes up, right? So I'm on the phone with the lady, and she said, oh, I didn't go up too much. It went up $20-something. I said, all right, I guess I could have lived with that compared to what it could be. And I'm speaking to her, she said, how you doing? I said, nah, not so good, dealing with a lot of stuff, breaking out in hives, whatever, from stress and all that, like we all are, stressed out through the max. And she was saying, yeah, the price of food and all that. We just get into a discussion. She's an African-American lady. She lives in Houston, Texas. And she says, she's a registered Democrat, and she said, I am voting Republican. She says, it's so insane what is happening in our country.
Talk about that on the phone,
And
though.
she's like the only, like the pariah of her family in a sense. But she's seen the light. I said, welcome aboard. I said, welcome to the Republican Party. We need more people to join us. We need from every race. Because it's common sense, people. The Democrat Party is no longer the Kennedy Democrat blue collar, and that's what I told her, and she agreed. She said, yeah, we grew up with the union, I had good jobs, what have you. I said, I'm in the union too, I'm in the Teamsters Union. I said, this is disgusting what is going on here now, because the Democrat Party is no longer the blue collar Reagan Democrats or what have you. They're the Stalin Party, I said. Right. That's what they are. They are communists, and they'll go after your character and make sure you go to jail. There's like Steve Bannon. You can't, oh, you didn't go to a January 6th committee, serve 4 months in jail, right? He's appealing it. But the point is just like a third world nation what they're doing to our people. They're coming after us, and don't worry, those IRS agents didn't get hired just yet. They're still doing their paperwork, but pretty soon they'll be coming to a theater near you, and that'll be you, so make sure you have all your receipts together, because they're gonna come for us. And hopefully we can stop it if we get the Republicans in office, and they could say, goodbye, you lost your jobs, the 87,000 IRS, and hopefully we can get rid of them. But pray. We gotta pray. That's our only hope in that sense.
I mean,
we can't allow the status quo to continue.
Things are so bad that I feel that, we'll have a lot of Republicans this election.
I hope so.
Everything is being demonized, okay?
Yes.
We're looking at American historical figures like Thomas Jefferson, who was removed from the city council chamber.
Yes.
So we're going back 500 years or 200 years or 300 years. Everything is
Jefferson did.
globally racist. Everything is that you look at is there's something on the ballot this year.
Oh, right.
Racial justice.
Yeah, what does that
Everything is.
mean?
Right.
It's gotten such insanity
Vote no.
and everything. And
Listen,
whether it's today's times or 500 years ago, because you have to have a police officer